All right, peace, peace, peace. I'm gonna come back with another video. First off, hopefully the most on your house shots busting y'all day. Um, yeah, I just want to touch on real quick. Revisit something I touched on a while back, man. But this more I understand it because I was looking through. I was like, wow. Because shout out. I forgot which brother in the Discord app, posted these things, man. Because I'm just look at on this aspect of you know as a child, what Paul said, as a child, I spake as a child and put away childish things. But it's all going to time to something because I remember last time I touched on it. I touched on that aspect of like in like kind of a worldly or two dimensional. Well, yeah, kind of in a two dimensional perspective, like certain things, movies or TV shows or music I used to listen to now, but watching it a little differently. I remember that last time I touched on that, I believe. But now I'm kind of looking at it as another thing because it all goes into the inward man and renewing the mind and being born again, man. Because you know, but yeah. Let's get this. Let's get this, man. Let's go First Corinthians right quick, man. Because it kind of ties into that, but yeah, it kind of goes deeper though. Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna get into it. Let's go First Corinthians right quick. Yeah, let's get First Corinthians 13 verse 11. It says, "When I was a child, I spake as a child, and I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things." So yeah, man. I touched on this before. Like now, like there's certain things like before you came into faith, and like no, just in the process of getting older, now you look at it differently. You put those away. But now, like spiritually, let's look at this in a spiritual perspective. Spiritually, like we being like John 3:8. Becoming as like actually, but if it's nothing wrong but being a child, but we gotta come as another child, that little child, humbly, man. Like how should I talk, but being born again, man. But like I was talking about being born again, man. Renewing the mind, actually, like actually following this, like now, actually, becoming a new creature, man. Um, Killing off the old man. It all deals with the inward man, killing off the old man, and dealing with the new man, because um. And of course that became a man, like talking about the new man, not the old man. So let's go to John 3 real quick. Um, John 3, chapter in verse 5, he says, "Verily, Yahushua answered, Verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born of water and of the spirit, he cannot enter into the kingdom of Yahweh." So yeah, man, gotta be born again, man. So yeah, I'm just gonna touch on this because it's all spiritual. This when as a child, speak as a child, man. It's actually yeah, man. That's it. You gotta be born again, renewing of your mind, but finding killing off the old man each day. Your inner man, man. The kingdom is inwardly, man, as well. So let's go to Hosea chapter 11. Yeah, exactly. You know what? Yeah, Hosea chapter 11. Probably gonna yeah. Hosea chapter 11 is in verse 1. It says, "When Israel was a child, then I loved him. Then I loved him and called my son out of Egypt." So yeah, when Israel was a child, man. So we got to put away that, like that's all coming in with the inward man. The killing off that old man, what Most High Yahusha is looking for, man. That's what it has to be in you now. Like he's gonna put like all this, like the word and the law, in our inward parts, man. The word in our inward parts, man. Like like the new covenant establishes, man. So okay. Anyway, but I'm gonna get this again. It's Hosea chapter 11, verse 1. It says, "When Israel was a child, then I loved him and called my son out of Egypt." So yeah, man. So what's that pretty much saying? It says, "When Israel was a child, then I loved him." So yeah, as a child, we got to put away a childish things, because he's a child. He said we were a child in Egypt, man. We're still children of Israel, but what's that? Let's be spiritual for a minute, man. Let's put the Egyptian, the ways of Egypt, the renewing your mind, the ways of the world, pretty much put the ways of the world in the past, man, and being born again, actually, man, that's what it wants, actually renewing your mind, learn what you, unlearn what you have learned, man, exactly, and unless it's something like, that's some core good values that lines up with scripture, I always keep that, certain things I learn, like I touched on it here and talk about here all the time. Stuff I ever learned that is like lines up with the word. I still keep that, but all the stuff of the old man, of the old things, you gotta leave that behind, man, because you can't put that in the pile and look back. But yeah, man. So that goes into like certain things like it says my Israel was a child when Israel was a child, and then I loved them and brought my son out of Egypt. But it's like here, like spiritual Egypt, man. Like God put off, then this cause of being Americanized too. Like like I touch on all the time, man. A lot of our people, even still me, for example, I'm still Americanizing a lot of things, man. Certain things I think about my outlook or certain things, situations or my perceptions. It's like can be Americanized. But like I just said, you gotta be born again, man. Gotta take all that stuff, purge all that stuff out, all the inward man, all the old stuff out. But at the end of the day, too, that's just part of it, because being in captivity, being raised a certain way and seeing certain things is going to shape the way you think and you behave and the way you and way you move. But also too, sometimes that's just that's just who the person is that's in your spirit to do, because shout out to the brother of shout out to brother at Assembly of Firstborn, because he brought this Khan and Joshua, like because he had that when he because Jake, he wanted the Babylonian garment, he was covetous, and he didn't even see the promised land because of his covetousness, man, because his greed. That's the love of money is a root of evil, but the love of those material possessions, those like Sirach said, he that loveth gold, shall be justified, man, because it's like that covetous spirit that was in his spirit, that's in him to do it. We wasn't, like the brother Assembly of Firstborn said, we wasn't in captivity when that happened. That was just something that was in him to do. So we can't always blame like captivity and the lands, because I am a believe that this isn't like human psychology. The way a person brought up is going to change their perspective, the way they think. But sometimes it's in the person's spirit to do it, man. Because that's just who it is, man. Just like I say this all the time, like the movie like Spider-Man 3 that came out back in 2007, man. Like remember 18 years ago, 16 whatever. Yeah, 16, 17 years ago, man. The guy that played Topher Grace, the Edomite that played Eddie Brock to play Venom, man. At the end, Spider-Man played by Tobey Maguire, which was the best Spider-Man, by the way. I like him all, but he was the best one. But he played by him. He's about to those the Green Goblin ball. He throws a Green Goblin thing at the Venom to kill it. But at the end, the character in Venom, played by Topher Grace, he dies with the Venom pretty much, because like that was what that was showing you, that was him, man. That spirit, that they were one of the same, man. That they were that was him at the end of the day, man. Sometimes a lot of people blame demons, but that's just like who you are, man. Like every flesh can two walk. Let me get this in Amos real quick. To my point, because I don't even mean to digress too much, but can two? I don't gotta get it, but it's Amos. Can two walk unless they be in agreement, man? So that's just who he was, man. So just like a lot of times, like Akon, that's just who Akon was, man. That just yeah, man, that covetous, those that's actually too, that was a precursor. Now I'm thinking about it. That was a precursor to Yahushua said, even to Judas, and and even what Yahushua said about the cares of the world, it would make you miss out on the kingdom, man. And yeah, pretty much, because he's about to see the promised land. They were about to get it, but then, they got He declares the word of God to him, man. He wanted the garment. He wanted the Babylonian garment. He wanted the 5 things. He wanted that. Just like, of course, Judas. So, this is crazy how the Yahushua comes in the Bible book, or his teachings per se, like lines up with even different accounts, like, different things. But yeah, but this all goes into like, just killing off the old man. As a child, I spake as a child. And let's go to Romans, because I didn't really mean to digress like this, but let's go to Romans now. Pretty much. Just like, just now that I'm thinking about it too, just like it was because Cain got the spirit of saying that he had to get, he had that spirit with Cain. What happened with Cain? Cain and Abel. The spirit came from Satan, but it was always in him to do that. Do that to Abel, man. It's always in him to do that, man. It's just because it's like a lot of times, especially like it was being taught conventionally, like and. Just the account of Cain and Abel, it is always like like randomly one day, like or just Cain just randomly killed Abel. That's how it's always read, how it's taught. But if you actually sit and meditate, and I touched on it in the past, I might Lord will touch on it in the future with Cain and Abel, or just Cain the way it came. I did a little series on that. It was always in Cain to do that. He had the evil eye towards his brother. He had he didn't he had the evil eye, he just slew his brother. He was a murderer, man. It was in him to do that, man. So it's just not always in. They wasn't even in captivity, man. So and like I said, the curse of the evil eye, that started with him, man. That just started with him. So, but let's go to Romans real quick though. I'm kind of digressing, but yeah, man. But I'm reading Hosea chapter 11, verse 1 again. When Israel was a child, then I loved him and called him my son out of Egypt, man. So yeah, we got, we was a child, you're a child, thinking they can't, go think about like that. You got to put that away, man, because, as a child, speak as a child, man. That's why, in the wilderness, that's why a lot of us didn't make it. We speak as a child. We didn't want to, we were, so, like I said, that's what that's what certain things can do. When you're accustomed to certain things, it can change your outlook and change your perspective on things and how you live. Because they got so used to being slaves and being prisoners, man. That's all a lot of people like. Once they've been in jail a long time, man, that's all they know. It's hard to get them out of it. Some people just like don't realize, like, some people just despise freedom or don't realize appreciate freedom. So that's what happened with our forefathers, in the wilderness during that time. And it's just like, yeah, y'all just that's just it is what it is. I could keep going on and on, but I don't want to keep going on and on about that. But let's go Romans chapter 12 and verse 2. It says, and be not conformed to this world, but ye be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is good and acceptable and the perfect will of Yahweh. So yeah, man, you're renewing the mind, be approved for what is good and acceptable, and do the will of the Most High, man. That's what it is, man. So as a child, speak as a child. That's the renewing of the mind, man. Like he said, it's like in Egypt, man. Like we was a child, and then he said, listen, I got my son out of Egypt, man. And he was a child, man. Now we got renewed. Now under Yahushua, man, under the new covenant where he established, we gotta be born again. You gotta renew the mind. Become as a little child. I mean, like, renewing your mind, be humility, man. Like I touched on last night, man. So seriously, that's a child. You want to be that little child, that humble, Then you constantly grow and grow, man. But hopefully this was edifying, man. So peace.